Still says only 12 minutes. This is going to be longer than 12 minutes. So out of breath. Let's wrap. Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is April 17th, 2025, and this is episode 133. My name is Roz and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada with my husband and my two kids who are 15 and 13. What's next? I'm going to check my list. That's who I am. If you would like to find me online, you can find a list of all the places that I am somewhat active down below in the description. Things like Instagram, Ravelry, Blue Sky, my email address is there. You can reach out to me in many different ways, including a Discord channel that I've set up, not recently, but it's pretty quiet in there, but if you wanted to hop on over and check out and talk that way, that's good too. If you would like to support the podcast, I do have a Ko-fi account. It is not required in any way to donate. This will always be a free weekly-ish episode for you, but it does help with a few things like new equipment and stuff like that if you feel inclined. No pressure. All right, what do I have today? Today I have finished objects, works in progress, stash, next on my needles, and some books. I think that's everything. If I missed it, I will just add it in at some point. We're gonna start off with finished objects. I'm not wearing a hand knit sweater today. This one is store-bought. So sad. I am wearing hand knit socks, but again, it's difficult to show your feet on here, so I'm not going to go into all that. If you want to know more about the socks that I wear on a daily basis, I did put up a sock review video with all the different, I have 17 pairs of socks that I wear on a regular basis, and now I have another pair. So finished object for this week. These are the Fork in the Road socks, which is a pattern by Lara Neal, and there are two of them. Yay! I did knit them two at a time, so it makes sense that they're both done at the same time. Oh, got some weird fuzziness there. These are out of yarn from the Cozy Knitter in the colorway It's My Birthday, and this came as a sock set. So you get the self-striping yarn. I think there was 100 grams in this skein, and then you get the mini skein in the pink, which I used for the toe and heel. So I think they turned out super. I still haven't worn the heel. I'm kind of saving these. I am going to wash them before I wear them, because I tend to take my knitting on the go a lot. You never know what's on them. So I did my usual toe, just increasing every other round, and a plain foot, and then the Fork in the Road heel, which is definitely like, you can see there's a bit of bunching there. It's definitely some roomy heel, so hopefully that's good. And then I did a 3x1 rib up the leg, and then a 1x1 for just the very top of the sock. And I managed to cast off in the same color. So I often kind of gauge how many rows I can get in the 1x1 rib out of a single stripe, and then try to figure out how I can cast off in that same color without going into the next color. In this case would be green. So it'd be like half the cast off in purple and half of it in green. There was a bit of finagling with that on both the socks. So they are both cast off with the purple, but I had to pull from the other end of the ball and get some additional purple. I did not do it correctly. So sometimes I just go with it and cast off in a different color. I probably should have just done one row of the purple ribbing and then cast off, and I would have had enough, but I didn't. Anyway, they look good and I'm happy with them. And I had 2 extra ends to weave in, but what do you do? I have other socks in this yarn and I really like it. It's soft, but also sturdy. It's got a good wear to it, and it doesn't pill that much. So I think these are going to be well used. Also, they are fun spring colors. So there's that. I can't think of anything else to say on these. I talked about the pattern and I talked about the yarn. So we'll put those aside, and I have a second finished object for you this week. I don't know if you would guess or not, but I have a finished hat. So I have been working on this hat for a while, just here and there. It was my on-the-go project, and I had a few things that were longer in the car wait times recently, so I have finished this one. This is Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague, and that is a double thick pattern. I'll show you in a second the other side. This, these yarns, the dark teal and the kind of more aqua color, are both Knit Picks Stroll in the blue topaz and mermaid colorway. And then, I don't know, hopefully that's showing up. The gray that you can see on the cuff here and in the top set of stripes is Boss Lady Yarn Co. in Mechanics Wrench. And then at the bottom here in the lighter color, I did use a mini from my Polka Dot Creek Advent Calendar from 2023. I don't remember which one it was, but anyway. And then the other side, like magic, ta-da! This self-striping is some Knit Picks Felici in the Alexandrite colorway, and then again it's got the gray at the bottom, so you can cuff it. And I'm going to put it on. It's not been washed yet, same as the socks, but I think it turned out really nice. And you really get two very different hats out of it. So let's see, let's just get the frizz out there. So yeah, it turned out really nice. It is, there we go. I love this self-striping colorway, but I'm not a super fan of Felici for socks. They fuzz really easily and they're not as hard wearing. So hat it is. This will go in my donation bin, and somebody will enjoy it, because apparently my family have enough hats. Okay, that is it for finished objects. Let's scroll down a little bit here. Where did we get to? This is caught in my yarn. Oh, I'll just put it up like this. Okay. I have been inspired to get back on the crochet bandwagon, and I haven't done that much this week, but I did get some progress on my market bag. So this is called Color Block Market Bag by Jennifer Palmer, and it is definitely hard to see and it's blowing out, but this is a lovely bright turquoise, teal, blue. It's very blue, it's less green. That's better. And I'm gonna mix it with some cream, so it's gonna be like bright on the bottom, you know, kind of neutral on the top. And I've gotten the kind of the mesh part, so the bottom is done and I'm into the mesh part. It's pretty straightforward and I'm quite enjoying having something different to work on. The yarn that I'm using for this is Bernat Handicraft for Cotton Solids, and this color is called Blue Mod, and then I have an off-white for the top. And we'll see. I mean, I didn't work on this very much and I got like quite a few rows done on it, so if I focused on it, then I could probably get that knocked out for next week, because now that you're at the mesh part, like the bottom part is dense and you're trying to get lots of rounds in to make that nice base, and the mesh just flies off the hook. So that is it for that one. The next project, I am going to talk about it quickly, but I have gotten like, I don't know, 2 rows done on it. It's making me sad that I haven't worked on it, and I'm all tangled. I don't want to pull the needles out. There we go. So this is Paris and Berlin, which is a cowl pattern by Hoki Locatelli, and this is just the start of it. And like I said, I got like 2 rows done on it, so kind of sad. The yarn I'm using is Red Island Fiber in the Eco Pressed Organic Merino in Gramps Shirt. So it's an organic merino. I guess that means that the sheep eat organic food. I don't exactly know what that means. And then probably the processing of it uses organic substances. I don't even know the details of it, but that is what it's called. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that project when I've actually done something on it. And then because I had some of this yarn left after, which doesn't look like a lot, but this is the Knit Picks Felici in the Alexandrite colorway. So lovely green and purple. And I had quite a bit left, so I started a yarn cozy. I've never made one of these before. I don't really use them. I usually just ball up my yarn and put it in my project bags, but it can be really useful, especially if you're doing color work or like 2 at a time socks. It would be nice to kind of have those balls contained a bit instead of being twisted up in your bag. So yeah, this is the yarn cozy. It is a 3x1 rib. I don't want to give away too much, but you can tell that from just looking at it. So it's nice and stretchy, and it's supposed to fit a 100-gram skein in a cake form, which is what my ball winder does. So hopefully it works. If it does work well, I also have the pattern for the 50-gram size and the 20-gram size in order, especially for color work, if you're doing something with mini skeins, it's nice to have, especially multicolor stuff, to have them kind of contained a bit without yarn barf everywhere. This pattern is Yarn Cozy Light by Nitty Natty, and she also has a YouTube channel. You can definitely check her out. She's got a lot of different tutorials, and she just traveled around all of the US and went to all 50 states, different yarn stores in them, and did tours and stuff. She's got a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, this is a fun pattern. This is not the first pattern I've made of hers, but I haven't done any in a while. And she's a very clear writing style. Quite enjoyed this pattern. I think she's having a knit along right now with one of her other patterns that she made, like a crocheted bag that has kind of yarn cozies in it as well. So I wasn't interested in making that one though, but I am making the, yeah. Oh, and that yarn, so that Knit Picks Felici is now my oldest yarn according to Ravelry. So that's why I am continuing to work with that yarn until it is all used up. So I'll finish that yarn cozy. I've probably got another 20 rounds or less, maybe 15 rounds on that. And then the bind off, and depending on how much I have left, I might do a smaller one or do it, add another random skein that I have in there. Who knows? I will keep working with that one until I use up all of that, and then I will go on to the next oldest stash. So that is one of my goals this year, is to always be working on a project with the oldest stash according to Ravelry. So, well, my camera battery died, so I had to put in a new one. Where was I? Right, so at some point, I decided to put all of that stuff into Ravelry, and it wasn't necessarily in the order of the oldest yarn that I had purchased, because I had no way to know which one was what, so I just started putting everything in with pictures and all that kind of stuff into Ravelry, and that is the order I'm going by. Since then, I have been very diligent about keeping up with everything in Ravelry, so that is all in order, but some of the old stuff is maybe older or newer or whatever, so it's from a set period of time, but that's the way I am doing it. It's my goal, so I can do it how I want. Let's move on to stash, because this is very exciting. Okay, I got quite a bit. It's all from Fireweed Fiber Co. She will be linked down below. It's Canadian dyer. I am part of her monthly yarn club. I didn't get it last year, but I got it the 2 years before that. Yeah, because I did the Star Trek one and the Buffy one, and this year is Jurassic Park. Lovely, 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 lovely. It's all wrapped in tissue paper. So I've got, she ships them to me in and you can get this option as well. She ships them in 3-month chunks and wraps them in tissue paper so that you can save on shipping. So here's June and May, which I'm not going to open right now, but I am going to open April. So if you don't have this yet or you don't want to see it, look away now. I am going to put in chapters so you can skip past this if you wish. Woohoo. Sorry, I was just looking at it and I was like, oh, I should be showing them. Look at this. Oh, the depth of color she gets, just amazing. So I am getting this on her Sweet Pea sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is a 2-ply yarn. I have made socks out of this. I have made hats out of this. It's just a lovely base for everything. And a cowl, I made a cowl out of this base. And yeah, so this color, this is the April 2025 color, and it's called Unless They Figure Out How to Open Doors. I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to put, let's see, is it focusing? I have no idea. The picture of the inspiration photo next to it so you can see it. But I think she did an amazing job. Also, the scene from Jurassic Park is amazing. But like, do you see the cool speckles? No, it's not going to focus because there are pictures and stuff behind me, but it's amazing. Very, very good. I have no idea what I'm going to do with any of that yarn, but it is all amazing. The other thing that I got is another sock set. So this is also her Sweet Pea sock, and this is called You're My Obsession. And I believe this was her birthday colorway this year. I can't remember. It was some sort of special colorway. I know that Tristan, her husband, who works with her, got to dye this yarn. Like, look, that teal and purple. Oh, and then it's got the mini to go with it. Seriously, I think I'm definitely gonna have to make socks out of this, but then I was kind of thinking like this would really make a super fun shawl, because a lot of the clothing that I wear like is plain colored, and then to have like this super bright shawl or cowl made out of this would be so good. But also socks would be amazing. Yes, I'm very, very excited for this. And I ordered this a while ago. I think it was February when it was on sale, but she very kindly just waited and shipped it with my monthly club, so I didn't have to pay for 2 shipments, which was very, very nice of her. And the last thing that I got, and there are 6 of them, but I'll just show you 2. Can you see it? Oh, look at that tweed. So this is the Wood Lily DK, and I got her Advent for 2024 in the Wood Lily DK yarn. This is an 85% superwash merino and 15% Donegal nep. I don't know what Donegal neps are, what they're made out of, but like, this color is called Is This Navy or Black? If I do that, can you see it better? Like, I would just want to get it really close up. And it is truly like you're looking at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's black. And you're like, well, is it navy? Is it black? I don't know. So I have 6 of these, and my plan is to, and I'll take a picture and put it in here somewhere, is to make the Kintra sweater by Creabea. I forget her actual name. That's her like designer handle. And I will put an example picture of the sweater in here, and I have all that Advent yarn, and I'm gonna make a beautiful gradient yoke, circular yoke sweater out of it. I'm sure I'll have extra bits of it left and I'll do something else fun like a cowl or whatever, but I'm so excited for this sweater. However, I have a lot of things in the works at the moment. So this might be like a summer cast on or a fall cast on. So this is not something that's happening soon, but I knew that I wanted this yarn, and so I got it all dyed up together and shipped with a shipment that I was already paying for, which is amazing. Anyway, you should go check out her yarn. It is really good. That is it for stash. Next on my needles, you may recall if you watched the last, I think 2 episodes, I have talked about the cream cardigan that I want to make as a summer cardigan to go over a dress that I'm wearing to a wedding in July. Now, it is going to be hot in July, most likely. I'm 99% sure it's going to be very hot. However, weddings often go late into the evening, and it will be nice to have a little something to throw on at the end of the night when it gets a little bit cooler. Unless I'm still out on the dance floor, in which case I will be cooking hot, and I will still enjoy a cream cardigan in the future. And I've been holding on to this yarn for a very long time, and I'm just really inspired to use it right now. So I swatched and decided that I'm 99% sure that I am going to do the Lala cardigan by Anna Johanna, and I am now swatching in the lace pattern. So I only have, I think, 1 repeat of the lace done so far. And so I'm going to do a few repeats of it, not too many, because I'm just going to kind of get the feel for it and make sure that I like the fabric, and I will wash it. Don't worry, I will wash it. So I'll probably do maybe one more full repeat and then my garter edge and then bind off, because I really want to get started on this cardigan. So once I'm sure that that will kind of work, or at least give me an idea of what my kind of stitch count will be, because I like the look of that on those needles, then I will be able to figure out which size I need to make. But so technically it's in swatch stage still, so it's kind of indexed on my needles, but I have created a project page for it, which will be linked down below along with everything else I talk about. So I pretty much guaranteed that that's what I'm going to do. But you know what? There's always a chance that I'm going to change my mind. But I do really like that lace pattern. It's very intuitive. It only has 1 line that has center double decreases, so I'm happy with it. I don't mind doing center double decreases, but I do prefer a knit 2 together or an SSK. Anyway. This one is very straightforward. It's very intuitive because it's kind of that diamond pattern, so you can really read your knitting and see where you're going. I'm not going to give away all the secret stuff because it is a paid for pattern, but I'm enjoying it, and I got to stop saying All right, last up we have books, and I am happy to report that I have finished The Path of Daggers. This is by Robert Jordan. This is book 8 of the Wheel of Time series, and I've been reading this series for a long time, and because I couldn't find the audiobook from my library, and I didn't feel like paying for the audiobook, because I like my library and I like to use stuff from there. But I did have a physical copy of the book. It was a hardcover copy that we found at a used bookstore. So I read it in physical form. This week I just was like, you know what? I gotta finish this. And I'm on to the next book. So this one, with a series so large like this, some of the middle books sort of take on the role of setting things up for what's going to happen in the last. So we're kind of at that plateau where there's a lot of political stuff happening. There's, you're over here kind of setting stuff up over here, you're setting stuff up over there. And then the last couple chapters, it's like the crescendo of here we go. And so you're not at the top, but you're kind of just getting going, and some stuff happens that's a bit more exciting, let's say. Stuff happened throughout, and there was definitely valuable information. There was, character development. It just wasn't wasn't as like adventurous and dangerous and the wars and all that kind of stuff as much as in the previous books, but sometimes you need to do that in order to get through to the next kind of set. So I do have the next book from the library in audiobook format. It is 24 hours long, so it's going to take me a bit to get through that, but you know, I do enjoy listening to these books. I like the narrators, and I like there is lots of description in these books, and I find that I can really focus and picture it more when I'm hearing it in audiobook form. So books are books, whatever way you read them. This series, I am enjoying the audiobooks. But it does mean that now that I've read that physical book, I can get back to my Sue Grafton books, because I have those all in Kobo form from the library, and that's what I really enjoy reading at night, because I can kind of get snuggled up into my bed and get my Kobo right there and dim the lights and kind of get in that reading mode for bedtime. So expect to see some of those just knocking it off in the future. Hopefully, who knows, maybe I'll have no time to read this week now that I've said all of this. Also, it's a long weekend, so maybe more time to read. Maybe I'll spend some time with my family too. Who knows? But on that note, I will call this an episode. We will see you guys again next time. I hope you're enjoying some lovely spring weather if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and fall weather if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, and have a wonderful week, and we will see you guys again next time. Bye.